Welcome to the first episode of the Cinema Dash. We're your hosts, Gabbs.
And I'm DeGe.
So let's get this first episode going. First episode. Here we go.
Yeah, here we go.
Great.
Beginning of an era.
New era. The baseball cap.
All right. So last Friday we had the pleasure to go see new indie horror movie that's taking the nation by storm so far. It's called It Follows.
I've heard this movie on the Monday when you texted me if you wanted to see this movie.
I was watching the trailer over and over again, and I was just like, I need to see this movie. So texted him, and he was just like, "The hell's that?" And I was like, "Well, you're gonna find out." So we did that.
Yeah, I didn't have anything going on Friday, so obviously saw the movie, and wow, what a movie!
Yeah, what a movie, I will say. So
we should get right down to the nitty-gritty of the movie.
Yeah,
go right to the story.
Yeah, it's the story. So, the movie opens up with your general studio flashcards, same old, same old. Then it was weird because we're introduced to this
just like a street with just nothing on it.
A street. It was a very good shot.
Like
don't get me wrong, but it was a good establishing shot. But then all of a sudden, the camera just pans over and we see this girl just running out of her house, and we're automatically brought up into this this action-packed and disaster pieces scores just going on in the background. It's heart pounding, and she's running out of the house, and everybody's looking at her.
She's just bewildered beyond belief.
Exactly.
Doesn't really know what's going on or what she's going to be doing.
She's doing her thing, right? She's running around the house, and we're just sitting there I'm looking at him, and he's looking at me, and we're just like, the hell's going on right now? So, so she's running around, right? And then she goes back inside of her house and runs back out again. And her dad's all like, "Oh, what are you doing?
You have to come back inside.
Yeah, you have to come back inside your house." So we forgot to mention
cold.
She's in. Yeah,
it's cold. You forgot your jacket.
She's in her underwear at this point. She's in her underwear, and we're just like, whatever. That's cool, I guess. And she just takes the parents' car and just straight up drives away. Very unsafe driver.
Yeah,
gotta say.
I would say if I were on the sidewalk and she were driving, I'd be like, wow. She's pretty
the nearest pile of bushes, I would be jumping in it. Let's just keep it at that.
I would rather, instead of driving with her, I would rather kick a door with a nail in my toenail.
You tried.
I did try.
You tried. Okay, anyway. So yeah, she's still driving down, right? And she ends up on this beach, right? And the camera just cuts, the editing, it just cuts away. And one moment she's driving, and next we cut to this very quiet scene on the beach, and
she parks the car. The car's headlights are just out, pointing at her, like she has her back to the sea.
Yeah, I would say the editing in this movie is one of the stronger points. I would say because throughout the movie, we go from very loud, very very heart pounding, very energetic scenes to just pure quiet. Sometimes silence. It cuts to just straight up silence, and that's what I feel like. That's one of the more effective parts of the movie. I really enjoyed that.
I mean, yeah, I agree with you on that. Just like the fact that you're getting your heart pounding. Yeah. It's rushing you, and all of a sudden, big stop. What's going on?
Yeah.
Why is she there? What's going on?
Exactly. So we're here, and she's talking to her dad on the phone, very heartfelt goodbye for some reason. She's saying, "I love you. I might not be coming home. I love you. I love you." And we're still sitting there, we're questioning, what's going on here? We don't understand what's going on.
Obviously something bad is happening.
Yeah,
and you just don't know.
Yeah, and it's good because when you build up the suspense like this in a movie, it really it captivates the viewer, and it really shows that It really shows that that you want the audience to just get involved in your movie, and we were certainly involved. We were on the edge of our seats. We were wondering what was going on, and anyway, so
next thing you know it, there's a dead body on the beach.
Next thing you know it, the girl's on her back, and it's broad daylight, and her leg is completely destroyed.
Leg is
bone sticking out, blood everywhere, and we're just like, what the hell is going on?
And in terms of just the goriness of this movie, this is probably the most gory thing. So as soon as you're as soon as this scene is is right and over,
all in all, the movie's pretty PG-13 with the gore and all that stuff. It's really not that graphic. But anyway, so after that little slice of heaven for the introduction, we move on to our main character. Her name's Jay. All right, and she's going on this date with this guy, right? So we get a lot of So we go through this.
Just her day before.
Yeah, just her day before, and beautifully shot, by the way. That's one of the stronger points of the movie. The movie looked gorgeous. It like for such a small budget, I think it was $2 million. Like they really did a lot with making the sets look great, very natural, very like it was like you were actually just sitting there in a small suburban town or wherever they were. They didn't really mention the location.
It's not a very like well developed or well developed town. Like the majority of cars there are older than what you would see in like an I would say
we were struggling to figure out what like the time period it was in. But it was. Then again, it doesn't really matter because the movie's not about like the time period or the location. It's about the characters and what's going on in the movie and essentially what's following this girl. Which brings us to our next point: that she goes on this date with this guy, and they go to this cabaret club or whatever. And the one thing they do to start off the date essentially, she's like, "Oh, let's play a game. I'm gonna choose someone around us, and I'm gonna get a reason why I would switch bodies with that person, and you have to guess who that person is and why I want to change like lives with that person." So like, okay, so the date goes first, and so he chooses like this dad or whatever. He's like, he chooses the kid.
She chooses the kid. She guesses the father, I believe. Yeah. Like, oh, because, you're 7, you have your whole life ahead of you. That, and one of the funniest parts of the movie was you just go in your pants whenever, no one really cares.
Alright, so, so she's on this date with this kid, and then, it gets a little weird then, because he's just like, yeah, the person I pick is this girl in this yellow dress. And Jay is just like, there's no girl in the yellow dress, and we're
that's
just
not,
like,
it's like she says,
and we as the audience don't see it either. So we're all thinking like, oh, this guy's batshit insane. Like, what's going on here? So eventually they just leave, and they get dinner together and whatnot, and then it gets a little steamy.
Yeah, during the when they're out to dinner, like obviously just having a conversation, like everything is going fine or whatever, but like the camera slowly pans behind her. And, like, you see something, like, just, like, obviously someone in, like, the darkness is walking toward their window. I mean, they're across the street in, like, some parking lot or whatever, but just, like, obviously he or she is walking in that direction toward them. And then
that's a lot of very, like, subtle hints towards it.
And that's when it starts getting, sexual is a word to use.
So they essentially they bang, and, then she wakes up after. Well, he chloroforms her.
Like after it happened.
And I'm just thinking like, oh boy, like I didn't come to this movie to watch a rape scene.
I didn't realize this was a health class.
Yeah, right. So she wakes up in this wheelchair and she's bound to the wheelchair. She's not gagged or anything, but she's essentially in her underwear and stuff.
Yeah.
And he comes up behind her and he's just like, listen, I
gotta tell you something very important.
Yeah.
This thing's gonna follow you.
Yeah, straight up. No holds barred. He's just like, this thing is gonna straight up follow you. It could look like somebody you love, or it could look like a complete stranger. But it's gonna follow you. And
the whole time he's explaining this, like he's looking around too, for like an example to show her. Yeah. And one does actually show up. And the
entity. Shows up,
weird thing about this movie that just everything that follows everyone, they're always naked. I don't know why. No, seriously, dude.
No. Like, not all the time, but there was a decent portion of naked.
This person that we clearly saw following the two of them was naked. Like, literally nothing was on this person.
Yeah, so to give a little background, but like what he pretty much explains to her is that obviously this thing is going to follow you. And the only way you can get rid of it is if you pass it on to somebody else. And how you do that is you have sex with them. So, but you're still not safe because you can still see the entity or the demon or whatever. Yeah. And they can too. But the person you pass it along to is in danger of dying. And if they do die, then the person that transferred it gets like the demon again. So the demon will start going after them and it goes straight down the line until whoever started it. Or however it started, which they never really explored.
I would kind of say like a domino effect.
Yeah, exactly. It's essentially what
But like dominoes can give it to other dominoes, and you can just stack back up or whatever.
So yeah, that's pretty much what a basic outline of the story. Obviously, we're not going to go too far into it, but
I don't know. Should we spoiler?
You know, I don't think so. I think we should keep the spoiler free.
Yeah, let's put the spoiler in the title when we do that.
Yeah, just in case it ends up slipping or whatever. All right, so now we're gonna move on to what we liked about the movie. So I'll just give some of the things I really liked about the movie, and you give some of the things you really liked about the movie. Okay, so what I really enjoyed, mainly 4 things about the movie. The acting, I really enjoyed. They really put together a top-notch cast of essentially pretty much unknowns. Yeah. I mean, Maika Monroe, the lead actress, she was in one of my favorite movies of last year, The Guest. Fantastic movie.
You recommended me that movie.
I did, yeah, and both really liked it. Score was killer, but hey, whatever. So she was in it. She played the lead role. She was fantastic as always, as she was in The Guest. Then they got another guy, Keir Gilchrist. You might know him from that movie. It's kind of a funny story with Zach Galifianakis about the mental hospital. But anyway, and essentially the rest were pretty much unknowns. I've never seen any of them, but hey, they got talent.
Yeah,
they got talent.
They do.
Another really big thing that I really liked about the movie is I really enjoyed the cinematography. I have to say, I don't know off the top of my head who the cinematographer is, but you can look it up. Yeah, but I really enjoyed his work. It was very neon. Again, I'm a sucker for like all neon stuff. I'm a huge 80s guy. I really like the 80s. And all like that neo-noir stuff like that, and it was just tinged with neon. It looked incredible. A lot of close-up shots, a lot of nice panoramas.
The cinematographer's name is Mike Gialakis. I probably butchered that last name.
Yeah, it's fine. Sorry, Mike, if you're watching this, you're probably not, but whatever. You do good work. So again, really gorgeously shot. One of the stronger points in the movie, one of the better looking movies of 2015. The editing was utterly fantastic, as we were mentioning before. How we can cut to a scene of just heart pounding adrenaline to just utter serene, quiet, tranquil parts. Yeah. And the last thing, probably my second favorite besides the cinematography being first. Probably my second favorite thing was the score. The score was absolutely incredible. It was just synth calm. It was calm. When it was heart pounding, it was just incredible. Disaster Piece did the score, and he's known for games such as Fez, which is a huge hit. And he also does his own music, of course. But props to him, because it was utterly incredible score. I found myself tapping my foot at times, and then I found myself cowering in my seat at times, because it was just, music plays such an important part of the movie, and I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, you obviously can't have bad music with a really good movie. I mean,
of course,
that goes without saying.
Music and sound make the movie essentially. Yeah. Like, so
if you want to get a certain like feeling across, it's the music that really does it for you.
Yeah, of course.
It does for me as well, but yeah.
Yeah, so what did you like about the movie, Ant?
Basically, things that you said as well. Like, the lead actress in the movie was very good, especially since she was in the Guest movie. I very much appreciated. She was very good in that, and she was very good in this one. Mm-hmm. I would say I liked her better in It Follows more than the Guest, just because she's the main character, obviously, in this movie. And and she definitely does show off her acting skills in this. I also like the group of friends that they're acting as well. A majority of them. I like the majority of them. Yeah. Like the sister, like, obviously, like, she has feelings for her older sister. Like, she definitely does care for her, which she shows very well in the movie. And then there's also like the friend who's like, oh, I've had a crush on you for a while.
Yeah.
And it's pretty obvious.
You could tell that, like, you could definitely tell that they've been friends for a really long time, even though they probably shot the movie in like a month.
Yeah.
You could tell, like, the way they played it off was you could definitely tell that they've been friends for years and years and years on end. So that's what I really appreciated. Like, it was a very genuine. It felt like a very genuine friendship between all the characters. Yeah.
Like, there's obviously friendship behind the actual acting friendship.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And then there's the guy across the street who also gets in some stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even though we see him in the very beginning a little bit, and he doesn't say much, and then like he starts helping out the group of friends and everything. Like, just like he's not in the movie that much, but for what he's in, he does very good with what he does.
He did.
And everything. Yeah, and like obviously the music was killer. It was when it's simple, but when it needed to be more dramatic and everything, it nailed it. Nailed it.
Definitely did. All right. Now we're gonna move on to what we didn't like about the movie. Right. And while this movie was absolutely incredible, definitely deserving of the score that it has on Rotten Tomatoes, I think it's like a 94 or 96 right now. One of the highest rated movies of 2015. And personally, I thought it didn't really have that much wrong with it. Though it did have some flaws, some very noticeable, some very not so very noticeable.
I had a lot of questions with the movie in a sense, kind of like coming out of the theater.
Yeah,
just like like one of the things was coming out. I mean, this is kind of a weird question to ask, but what if this is kind of stupid too? But what if the person were homosexual? Would it still be passed on to this person?
That's what probably like.
I mean
it works either way. Like
that's like one of those. I'm one of those kind of guys coming out of the movie. Like I would ask that stupid question coming out, and that would probably not get.
Hold on, let me just get David Robert Mitchell on the phone. Just be like, yo, what if like, what if you gay?
What if you touched yourself? Would you also give that? Would you double down on that or
double down? Just get 2 people following you the entire time. Yeah.
Yeah, but besides that, the one thing I think this movie could have went without was there's another person in the group of friends besides the main actress, her sister, the awkward friend, and the guy from across the street. There's also this like I would say nerdy girl kind of. I mean, just because it has the glasses, she had the weird oyster.
Oh yeah. There was this one thing in the movie where it was like an oyster. And we were just like, oh, she's probably doing her makeup because it looked like one of those like makeup things that like girls powder their nose with. It was a friggin' phone.
Yeah,
I was like, what the? I was like, when and where can I get a phone like that? Like, I want a phone.
It's like a Nintendo DS and an iPhone mixed with that.
Yeah, she was like reading poetry on it, and I'm just like, where can I get one of these? Can I get one with like a Batman symbol on it or something?
Like this poem's so killer. I'm like. This is not going to help at all later on.
Meanwhile, like, this thing is trying to kill Jay, and she's just like, yo, so, through what light? Through yonder window breaks. And I'm just like, okay, whatever. And that brings me to my point. The writing wasn't really that great. Not gonna lie, but it's a horror movie. Like, you're not going to a horror movie just to see, to listen to somebody talk about a philosophical being or something. You're going to get scared, right? Yeah. So I can see why like the writing wasn't really up to par, but like that's completely okay. Like me as a writer, like I really appreciate writing in movies. Like I appreciate Pulp Fiction. I appreciate any other well-written movie. Can't really think of one right now, but
you'll think of one.
I'll think of one eventually. But like but yeah, like you're not going to a horror movie to
you're not going to read a book.
Yeah, you're not going to read a book essentially, but like you're going to get scared, which it did. It was very effective in scaring me. But the writing, like at one point during the movie, there's just like they're in the. It's probably one of the more scarier parts of the movie. They're all huddled up in Jay's room because the thing is inside the house. Yeah. All right, so they're all up there. She's crying, and she's like, you hear a knock at the door. All right, and she's just like, mom, and then she's like, no, it's me. It's completely okay. Don't worry about it. It's fine. And she says it exactly like that. Yeah. And then she opens it up, and the thing just straight up just goes into the room. And we're just like, okay, what's the logic behind that? Like, I let out a groan at that part. I was like, oh my god, here we go. After, of course, almost pissing my pants. But I let out a groan. I was just like, all right, this isn't really that. That was really corny.
Yeah. Besides that, the one other thing, the one scene in the movie that really I didn't like was at one point the thing that follows Jay, like, it goes to them on the beach. It follows them on a beach.
Oh, when they're at the house.
Yeah, and they come back to the house and like the guy from across the street is all like, yeah, I don't believe that anything happened, but like before that, it showed that the awkward kid, should I say, had like scratches on his stomach.
Yeah,
and like he got hit by nothing. Like obviously something hit him.
Yeah,
like he tried to hit a chair at it, and obviously the chair broke. It hit him back, sent him like 8 feet flying, or whatever.
Yeah, that was one of the parts that like he's like obviously something's going on. Like he was floating in midair, and he's just like, yeah, nothing's happening. It's stupid. Jay's just imagining all this stuff. Yeah, I was just like, how? Like he went flying literally 8 feet into the air.
They literally asked him in the movie, like, yeah, well, we have all the proof, but what do you think it is? And he's like, I'll see you later, and he walks away.
Yeah, straight up, I'll see you later. But it's whatever. What else didn't you like about the movie?
After that, I can't really think of one. The one girl with the weird phone thing poetry.
And she was kind of a useless character, honestly.
Yeah. Oh, here's another thing I didn't like. The boyfriend who gave it to Jay. After he explains it and then like runs off and like drops her off back at the house, like you only see him one more time when he's like explaining it to all the friends. Yeah,
they kind of did away with that character too. He was one of the more interesting characters, I would say, and they just kind of threw him away.
He had more to offer, but like just never.
Yeah, I mean, it's good that he didn't outstay his welcome because he didn't really need to. But like, I would have liked to see him have a little bit more screen time.
Yeah. After that, I mean, movie was pretty good.
Yeah, it was a very solid flick. So what would you say caught your attention the most? Like any subtle things that caught your attention?
I like the one thing where it's just like if you're watching the movie and you're getting like, oh, it's obviously suspenseful and everything, because like this thing can be coming at you at any time.
Yeah.
And it does. And like the one thing that caught me was like sometimes I wouldn't be focusing on like what's really going on. I would be focusing on in the background, because I'd be just like, all right, maybe it's coming now or maybe it's coming a little bit later. But I was always focusing on the background.
Yeah, that's what I really liked. How like the director really like sets up, director of photography and the director really set up their shots so it's like you have a clear view of the characters, but you also have a clear view of the background, and that's what I really liked about it, the suspense. One of my favorite parts of the movie was the suspense. And while the movie wasn't really like in your face jump scary, and there was like a couple certain parts,
I would say
it was way more creepy. Like it was just really ominous and just like,
I would say there's two larger jump scary parts.
Yeah, there was definitely that jump scare element, but it really relied on traditional, just scary, just very nice atmosphere. Just it was very suspenseful. Like you don't know when it's coming, but it's like it's coming. You know that because this thing is going to perpetually follow you until you pass it on. So it's always walking towards you. And you just don't know when. Like you're living in that like constant fear, just that you don't know when, and that definitely translates into the audience.
Yeah, like the one thing I think I remember whispering to you in the movie theater was like, this is some Five Nights at Freddy's shit.
Yeah, exactly. It's like in Five Nights at Freddy's, you know they're coming, you just don't know when.
Yeah,
exactly. So it's like you just that was one of the better parts of the movie. And again, while it wasn't it wasn't per se like jump scary. It was. It was more suspenseful scary, and that's what I really appreciated about the movie.
And when like you expected a jump scare to come, it just never came. Like, like there's this one part at the end of the movie where it zooms in on a window, and like, oh, it's coming. Like you feel it's coming, but then it's just two shots.
Yeah, it just doesn't come.
It's just shot of two other people.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, that was again very effective. Very very effective part of the movie. One really, I would say probably my favorite scene in the movie was probably the pool sequence when they see what they pretty much try to do is they pretty much try to kill the entity, and they try to lead it into this abandoned pool, and they try to lead it into this abandoned pool, and they get a bunch of electronics, and their plan is they're gonna lure the thing into the water, and then they're gonna put all the electronics in the water and shock it, essentially kill it, electrocute it. Yeah. And just everything about that scene is pretty much everything about that scene embodies what I said I liked about the movie. The editing, killer. The soundtrack was amazing. The cinematography was incredible. What I really liked about it, though, was there's this one shot where the pool gets filled with blood. I'm not going to say how. But it just echoed Stanley Kubrick. Like, if you've ever seen The Shining. Yeah. With the elevator and the blood and everything just coming around.
Very reminiscent of that movie.
What?
Very reminiscent of that movie.
Yeah, it just the way the blood just flew through the water and, like, completely encapsulated it. It was just utterly insane.
Yeah, another thing this movie reminded me of, Halloween, just the way the music was.
Oh, yeah, the music was definitely Halloween inspired. You could definitely feel a very John Carpenter-esque, very Halloween inspired. Like, I really like that about that.
I believe some of the music is in the trailer. So if you watch the trailer, you're gonna definitely think like, oh, if I'm not visibly watching the movie, like this trailer right now, and just played the audio, I think it's like a new Halloween.
It's like a new Halloween movie. Yeah, exactly. It was a very, very Halloween-esque score, and movie. To be quite honest, like if you've ever seen the first Halloween, like the thing, like the entity very much very, very much feels like a Michael Myers type thing. Like it just stands there and watches you, and then when it actually comes at you, it only walks. Which is what I like. I never understood that about like serial killers and like slasher movies. They only walk. Like if you're gonna get your target, you might want to run, you know. But like I can understand because they definitely explain in this movie that it's only gonna walk. Yeah, like, but it's not dumb.
Yeah, the one point in the movie where like she's driving away, I'm like, you have feet and the ability to run and go after this car and get your target. Yeah. Why don't you actually do that? Maybe. Yeah.
Actually do that. Yeah. But like, I don't know. But like they explain it and like it's not. They say like it's slow, but it's not dumb. And it really doesn't feel like it's dumb. Because like because it's not, because it takes like the shape of people you love. Mm-hmm. So you don't know any better. Like, you're just going to think, oh, it's just my mom walking towards me. But then it just snaps your neck and destroys your leg. And it's just like, oh, God.
Also, Mom, why are you naked for some reason?
Yeah, right? It's just like, Mom, why are you naked? But yeah, there was definitely the two very, like, distinct parts of where they were just naked. And we were looking at each other in the theater, like, why does this... This is unnecessary. I'm sure there was, like, some meaning behind it. And if, like, there was some, like, symbolic meaning, which my idiotic mind is too... underdeveloped to comprehend. But like I don't know, like I just felt a little weirded out. Again, it definitely added to like the scare factor because it was so exposed and stuff like that, but like I don't know, it definitely wasn't not necessary. Like I definitely feel like it definitely like added to the scene. It didn't like when they were naked, it never took away from the scene, which is what I really appreciated about it. I think like it like wasn't overly sexualized.
I think after like the second time there was a naked or partially naked follower, I'm just gonna call it.
Yeah, let's call
it. It just kind of like got a little weird because then there's like this one part where like there's one of them on the like on top of their house and it's naked, just like, I mean, why?
Yeah, he could have been wearing a nice polo button down, like but like he was naked.
Like, does the follower get naked before doing these things?
When he just takes the form of somebody else, does he just think
like these clothes are uncomfortable?
These clothes, they're just awful. Like I need to get them off of me.
And like, oh, I'm supposed to get this person as well, so I might as well just do it naked.
Yeah. And another thing that really caught my attention was I was reading the Wikipedia article of the movie after we watched it because I just wanted to make sure I understood it. I don't know why, but it said that water was like a really recurring motif in it, I guess. Like, I don't know how that played into it, but like what I took from it was that every time that like it's kind of like in The Godfather when like somebody's holding an orange, they're gonna die. I felt like water. Whenever like they showed water, or like whenever Jay was in water or like by water, I mean, like, something bad was gonna happen. Like for instance, like the beach scene or the pool scene, or when she's actually in the pool at her house. Like definitely like a very just like water played like it was like a very antagonizing.
Yeah, I was gonna say like I didn't realize it until you just said that there's a lot of water based scenes or motifs just throughout the entire movie.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, now you said that's actually really interesting. Now,
just like I I never noticed it.
Like, yeah, how did I miss that?
I never noticed it in the movie. Like, it was just like a very like new thing to me.
You know what? And that's what I like about this movie. Just like now that you said this, now it was like there's a lot of other things I haven't really noticed about the movie till I started thinking about it after.
Yeah, like a movie really like a movie like I really like a movie when you go back and watch it again and you just realize all these new things.
Yeah.
Like recently I rewatched the Grand Budapest Hotel.
Okay.
And I was watching the movie and like I just noticed things that I never noticed before. Like when spoiler alert, by the way, when the assassin Willem Dafoe Joplin, when he closed the door on Jeff Goldblum's fingers. Yeah, like I never noticed like 20 minutes later when they showed Joplin's desk, like he has a case of the guy's fingers on his desk. And I never noticed that before. I never noticed.
I thought I saw that when we watched the movie. Yeah, because we saw the movie together when it came out.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
We should probably talk about that movie too if we ever do another one, which we probably will.
Yeah, I'm down. I'm down to talk.
If it's a slow week, maybe we should totally talk about it.
Yeah, like how we're gonna run this podcast is it's like we're gonna go see movies that we want to see. You know, like we're not gonna go see like the friggin' we weren't gonna go see 50 Shades of Grey and talk about it honestly because we're not interested in that. We're looking to have like go see movies we're interested in and then have an intelligent discussion about them.
I didn't read the book. I'm not gonna be in a room full of moms watching the movie.
Room full of middle-aged moms.
It's just
like,
two 18-year-olds in a room full of like moms and girls whoever read the book. Yeah. And like these are just two people touching each other with paraphernalia.
Yeah, we're not down for that. Honestly,
so, like obviously we're gonna do like movies that you suggest to us, and like if it's a slow week, maybe we'll do one that interested both of us at one point.
Yeah. We rewatch it and then talk about what we like.
An old movie, a movie that just came out on DVD or whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just, stuff we want to see and stuff you want to have us talk about.
Yeah.
Get our opinions on, I guess.
Yeah. So get back on track after going a little bit off the rail.
It's nice to explain to the audience what we're going to be doing. So it's whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
So yeah, what else did you like about the movie?
Or
anything that really caught your attention?
Yeah, I mean, just like the pool, like the water thing you said that caught me. The fact that I was just looking in the background. Yeah, like those were like the main things. I mean, a bunch of other smaller things, but that's not really important or whatever.
Yeah. I really will say though, like I really did appreciate like the scares and stuff like that. I really like how David Robert Mitchell, the director, I really like his like tonal shift because like I looked on his IMDb page because I was curious again. And I saw he directed like this one movie. I think it was like an animated thing. Hold on, let me.
Yeah, you look that up.
Let me check this out. But like, it was a weird movie. It was like, hold on 1 second. There we go. Okay, yeah. It was like it's called The Myth of the American Sleepover, and apparently it was a very good movie. It's got a pretty decently high score on here, but again, you could see like there's very similar themes to it, like 4 young people in a suburb during the summer. So again, we're already feeling similar tones
like,
and stuff that follows.
Exact same thing, only with one less person.
Yeah, and obviously, and without a thing following them.
Yeah.
But yeah, like very very similar themes that he has in here. Like this is definitely also what I really liked about it is that it really mixed genres also because while it was a very creepy horror movie, you could also look at it from the standpoint of it being like a coming of age type movie. You know what I mean?
This movie?
Yeah, I could see it being like a coming of age, like discovering yourself type movie because you could definitely tell from like Jay and the awkward kids relationship.
I mean, yeah. I mean, now that you say that, I mean, I can see someone saying that, but I don't necessarily agree with that. It's just more like I think it's just a purely just jump scare and kind of a deeper film in a sense.
Yeah, it definitely. While it didn't explore like themes like it didn't explore heavy themes or anything. It was just solely there, but to it
didn't explore like a coming of age theme. Like
that definitely wasn't its main focus. It was definitely like that definitely totally wasn't its main focus. It was definitely a horror movie, but like I feel like it did have that like small, just little like glimmer of like a definite like a coming of age type thing, or like at least just like a teen teen discovering your first love type. You know what I mean? Like one of those like teen discovering your first love. I can movies, yeah, like one of those cliches, but it wasn't played off cliche at all. Yeah. Like which is what I really appreciated about it. Again, but like it's a totally different critical. It's a totally different critical like approach to the movie. But like while it was definitely mainly a horror film, there was definitely like that little glimmer of just like coming of age type thing. I don't know. Maybe it's just me.
You can make the argument.
You can definitely make an argument supporting or like refuting it, but like. Definitely, probably refuting it would probably be like a strong argument, but like I could definitely make points to where you could see like there's definitely like a little bit.
Yeah, you're not wrong. You're just a little bit.
All right, well, fine. I guess I quit the show after the first episode. Whatever.
All right,
man.
Well, see you later.
See you later. Just stamp out of the room. Just whatever, man.
Like this is your house. All right, so why don't we just wrap this baby up?
Let's wrap this bad boy up. So let's give our final verdict and review. I'd say.
So
It Follows.
You give it your review first.
So It Follows. Very stylish, very well shot, very greatly edited, fantastic score, amazing acting. I'd give it a 9.5 out of 10.
9.5.
9.5 out of 10. I would say it's one of the better movies I've seen.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a little bit lower grade than that, but still, I mean, I would give it like at least a 7.5, maybe an 8 out of 10. I would follow this movie 7.5 out of 8 times
down the street.
Down the street. Out of 10.
Yeah, all right.
Out of the possible 10.
I'd have 9.5 people be my buffer before it actually comes to get me out of 10. That's what I would do. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Well, thank you for joining us on our first episode of the Cinema Dash. Be sure to join us next week where we talk about whatever movie we watched or whatever movie we went to see.
Yeah, suggest one in the comments below, or just hit us up if you see us walking around.
Yeah, just see us on the street. Just be like, hey guys, want to watch Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer? Yeah, why not? Let's watch it. All right, whatever.
I mean, yeah, sure. I mean, already
very subpar movie, but hey, whatever. It's fine.
That's our review. I would ride that surfboard probably 1 out of 5 times.
Yeah, I'd fly into Galactus's throat 0 out of 5 times. Right? Yeah, it's no big deal. All right, everybody. Thank you for watching, and tune in next week where we talk about whatever movie we saw.
Yeah.
So thank you everybody for joining us on our first episode of the Cinema Dash. DeGe.
I'm Gabbs, and just leave a comment below if you want to suggest a movie for us to watch next week, because we got nothing planned for next week.
Yeah, pretty much. So, all right. Thanks everybody, and see you later.